the Bottom Line Podcast. I'm Jimmy Finizzi alongside Neil Villapiano. We hope you're doing well. As always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to listen to us. We really do appreciate it. Before we get started, as always, questions, opinions, Twitter and Instagram at Bottomline WMCX, and also at The NVP Show on Twitter, hashtag Bottomline, voice message, Anchor, the app, or at anchor.fm. And please, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like and a comment down below. Helps out tremendously. And make sure you subscribe, as well as on Apple, Google, and Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just include my first name, Jimmy, when searching for this podcast. Neil, I don't know about you, but I'm a bit extra amped today because we are not alone in what we're going to discuss today. So we're just going to get it right off the table right now and introduce one of our very good friends who, let's face it, I call him the OG listener because he's
probably our biggest supporter, I would think, of out of everybody. He's probably the biggest supporter that we have on this show.
Yes, because this man is not only one of my great friends, our great friends. He's been listening since I started solo. So he's been listening since the very beginning. And
wait, is this pre-anchor days? Is this
pre-anchor?
The anchor.
These are pre-anchor days, my man. This was all the way back on like SoundCloud, Your Listen, Mixcloud, those days. But
I don't even know.
Me ever since I started solo, and since we are approaching 200 episodes, 197, I want to say. I mean,
yeah, we're at 197 today.
I mean, yeah. Where is time gone? And today is September 10th, 2020. By the way, at the time of this recording.
Yes.
Let's introduce my good friend and our good friend as well, Andrew Huntington. Andrew, first of all, thanks for taking some time out of your day to join us. How the heck are you?
Welcome, sir.
I am doing fantastic, Jimmy, and thank you for having me here.
Dude, it's absolutely our pleasure. We finally have a chance to have you on after 3 years. I'm surprised it's taken this long, and I apologize.
But yes,
it's
Jimmy,
that's on man.
That's definitely on you, Jimmy.
That was definitely on me. But no, listen. In all seriousness, we're really happy to have you on. We can't wait to get started. But before we get into what we're going to talk about, real quick, just a couple of things here.
He remembered, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he actually remembered that he had to put a trivia question up today.
I do have that. I do have that. But just a bit of a serious note before we get started, because obviously tomorrow is September 11th, 9/11. Obviously, at the time of this recording, September 10th, 2020. We just want to take a moment to recognize the tragic events that happened on that day. The day never goes away. We'll never forget it. It's hard to believe it's been 19 years since it happened, and next year will be 20. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So we just want to, we just want to take a brief moment to just remember all the lives that were lost, all of the heroes that were involved that day, and all the families and friends and loved ones that were affected. So just wanted to get that out of the way, just to not only remember it, but just never, ever forget that day.
Amen to that.
With that out of the way, boys, I've got some trivia for you if you're up for it.
Shoot.
All right. So this is an NFL-related question since football is back, finally.
All right.
We cannot wait. And, Andrew, we definitely want to get your thoughts on the Giants, obviously. But before we get
when are you going to give me a soccer trivia question here, Jimmy? Come on now.
Come on, man.
You wish. But no, this is an NFL-related question. So, obviously, we all are familiar with the Los Angeles Rams. They didn't.
I'm not. Who are they? Who are they?
Well, here's the thing. They weren't always in LA, and they weren't always in St. Louis.
Ooh.
Where did the Rams originally start?
Oh, this is like a really good one. I like this one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't Google it.
You said the Rams, right? Not the Chargers.
The Rams, yes, the Rams.
I was going to say, I think the Chargers, their first year of existence in the AFL, they played in LA. They played in LA for like a year, and then they went to San Diego.
Yes.
Ooh. It's not a West Coast city, I'm imagining. It's probably
not West Coast, no.
No.
It's not St. Louis either, because
no,
because the original, well, not the original, but the football St. Louis Cardinals were there first.
Right. Yes.
Before they moved. This is really good, actually. I like this. Andrew, I'll let you go first with your answer. I'm still stumped here.
Yeah, I'm pretty much digging in of.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. To be fair to the both of you, I'll give you 2 guesses.
Can I have a lifeline?
Two guesses is your lifeline.
Wow, I feel so honored by that. 2 guesses. Jeez. You're such a swell guy, Jimmy. You really are.
Hey, you gave me 2 guesses on the last trivia
I
question,
gave you
so
3. I gave you 3.
Mr. Nice Guy over here.
Actually, I gave you 3 for the Mets question, and it took you 2 guesses to get it. So there you go.
Hey, at least I surprisingly got that right. I didn't think in a million years I would get that correct.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to get that at all. I didn't think you were going to get that.
But yes, where did the Rams originally start out? That's the question.
Wow.
Geez, this really is tough. I'm letting Andrew go first. I'm not, because that'll shrink my options. It's all part of the strategy.
I have no idea.
Just pick some random city, and I bet you'll get it right. Think random.
It's not Houston, right?
It is not Houston, no.
No.
You have one more guess.
It's not Alaska, that's for sure.
Wow.
It's not Alaska. That would be cool.
And it's not Hawaii either.
No.
I'd
like to see an Alaskan.
I'm not going to count that one. I'm not going to count that one.
Forget London. They should have the Jaguars should move to Alaska.
Oh, my God.
The Alaskan Jags.
Can you imagine?
Alaska Jags would be great. I would.
It's not Oakland, is it?
It is not Oakland. No, I'm sorry. You have used your 2 guesses. Neil?
I don't think it's California at all, to be honest with you.
It is not California.
And you said it wasn't on the West Coast either.
Not West Coast.
That tells me a lot. Well, I'm going to guess. Could be wrong, but I'm going to guess Chicago.
Not Chicago. You have one more guess. You have one more guess.
I'm probably not in that. I'm probably still not in the area that's even close to that. Nope. This is really good. I'll give you a lot of credit for this.
Thank you.
We're not doing states, right? We're doing like actual cities, correct? Just so that I'm clear, because I don't want to just say a state and be like right about it.
It's a state.
No, I know that. What I'm saying is that I don't want to just say a state and then just like you say, no.
You said actual cities.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like I got to say an actual.
No,
city.
they originated in the city. Yes.
They originated in a city. Cool.
In a city, yes.
I'm with you. Ooh. Probably a major city, I would imagine.
Not city or state or both.
Andrew, you used your guesses. You can't answer anymore.
I know I did.
Yeah.
Sorry, my man.
Watch, he's gonna come. He's like, "Oh, I think I got it," and then like can't answer.
No.
Neil,
you still have one more guess.
Yeah, I got you. All right, I'm just gonna guess Philadelphia, maybe.
Sorry, you are
not Philly.
Incorrect. The answer is Cleveland. The Rams were in Cleveland in 1937 and played there until 1945 when they moved to Los Angeles.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense because I think right after that, then you have the World Football League, which had the Cleveland Browns. You know, when Paul Brown first came into the world, and and that's okay. That makes sense. That makes it cool. They were called the Cleveland Rams.
Yes, they were.
Before the Browns.
Well, maybe the Browns should have.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jesus. All right.
But yes, the Rams originated in Cleveland in the 1930s.
Wow.
I'll give you credit there. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's good to know.
So,
I guess a broken clock is right twice a day.
There you go. But since we're on football, Andrew, Neil, and I already gave our spiel about how the Giants are going to do. You probably have heard us talk about that. Let's hear your thoughts on how the Giants are going to do and what your expectations are.
At the same time, I'm very curious about how the Giants are going to play this year. You know, with the new coach Joe Judge and offense coordinator Jason Garrett and tight ends coach Freddie Kitchens. So, and also,
who Neil forgot was even on the squad to begin with.
He was even with the Giants.
Neil, where are you? Where are you hiding?
He probably, truly, he'll probably do well.
He knew, but that particular episode, he just forgot.
And also, I mean, we still also have new defensive coordinator Patrick Graham as well.
So, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm curious to see how Daniel Jones plays out. I'm curious to see how Saquon Barkley plays, runs the ball this year. I know he didn't do much last year, but I'm curious to see how everything goes with them. And I think I'm going to see the Giants go 8-8 this year.
Hey, you know what? That would make me very, very happy. That would be a huge improvement over last season.
Yeah, because the last 3 seasons have been brutal.
Oh, yeah. And dude, I predicted them to go 4-12 last season, and what did they do? They went 4-12.
You were spot on, Jimmy.
Right, Jimmy was.
Honest to God, I did not think I was going to be spot on. Wait, what's that?
How often does that happen?
Yeah.
Exactly. But to be fair, the reason why Barkley didn't do that much is because, well, let's face it, the offensive line is still mediocre at best. Now, granted, it has played a little bit better. It has improved a little bit, but I don't know. Nate Solder is still overpaid, and it still needs a lot of work. So,
yeah, but he's not playing anyway.
What's that?
He's not playing anyway.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
It really is unbelievable. He should not have been signed to that monster contract in the first place. And granted, he did well with the Patriots, but
he did.
We know the history with the Patriots. They leave, they sign somewhere else, they get overpaid, don't really work out too well with other teams. So
there's a reason that Bill Belichick gives up, lets those guys go. There's a reason to it, and I think it's gotten to the point where people have to realize, look, even if the guy is super talented, you do have to wonder to yourself, okay, why is Bill Belichick so willing to let him go? Mohamed Sanu just got released by the Patriots. And Mohamed Sanu is still considered to be a very, very good wide receiver. But you have to wonder to yourself, why did the Patriots let him go? What's the issue? That's the question that you have to ask yourself with any of these guys. And Nate Solder, I get where it was coming from. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I definitely thought that he could come in and help. But, in a way, I'm glad that he's not playing because at least he's taking care of his family and he's staying healthy and staying
right.
But
family first.
Absolutely, yes.
But at the same time, from the football standpoint, I'm happy because now you get a chance with, I think Andrew Thomas is playing. Is he playing there or is he on the other side?
Andrew Thomas, I believe. I thought he was on the other side.
I think he is filling in for Nate Solder on that side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he probably is.
So for Andrew Thomas, he gets a boatload of opportunities to play in his rookie year and to really help solidify the blind side. Because if we have a solid blind side tackle, Daniel Jones is going to have a lot more time to do what he needs to do. I think the offensive line has improved a little bit, but again, because we didn't have any preseason games, we have no idea. We have no idea when we get to Monday. We have no idea what's going to happen. We honestly have no idea.
And that's the Giants' first game Monday night against the Steelers.
And look, don't expect any of these teams to look like in midseason form when we start one.
That's going to take a lot of time for them to prepare and
everything. That's going to take at least a few weeks until they're in midseason form. Considering
exactly. Like I said, it'll take a while.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it'll take 4 weeks, kind of like if it was a preseason. It'll take 4 weeks before we actually do this. But I will say this, if a lot of the teams are doing well early on and nobody's really getting hurt, I think the NFL would actually consider, getting rid of preseason games, moving forward, just from that standpoint, which I don't think is that bad of an idea. I mean, I'm not a big fan of preseason games in general.
I was just going to say, Neil, obviously you know where I stand on the preseason. I think it's a waste of time because not only is it a greater chance of players getting hurt, but you know what I mean.
I don't think it's that much of a waste of time because again, you have so many players that are, undrafted rookies and guys like that need to prove to the organization that they can get on the team.
Yeah, because the starters start off first, and then going into the end of the first half, they'll have the backup players playing, and then for the rest of the game, they'll have the third string players playing the rest of it.
Yeah. It's for the starters, it's somewhat of a waste of time. And but for the guys that are on the cusp of either getting cut or making the last of the 53-man roster, it's those games that are necessary because you can't really prove yourself 100% in practice. We don't know exactly who was standing out in training camp for the Giants. We really don't know. I mean, we've heard things like Corey Coleman. We heard good things. Ryan Connolly as well. But neither one of those guys made the 53-man roster. Why is that? We don't know. We honestly don't know what happened. We don't know if there was some other competition. We'll have to wait and see how this goes week one and just the first couple weeks. And the Giants have decent competition early on. Like they have games that they could probably win. They could win against the Steelers. We don't know. I don't know how good or bad the Steelers are this year.
Not by a long shot, but like a close game, like going into the last 2 minutes.
And you're just playing the Bears week 2, and unless Mitch Trubisky can redeem himself, I think the Giants should have a favorable matchup. And then you play the Rams week 4. I don't think the Giants are that much worse.
I don't trust the Rams. I'm sorry. With an overpaid quarterback, a porous offense, and outside of Aaron Donald, kind of a weak defense. So
well, they do have Jalen Ramsey as well. So
who by the way just signed a 5-year extension.
I don't know where the Rams got that money.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and ever since they lost that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Yep. They have not been the same team.
Which, by the way, I will forever say was probably one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched.
Oh,
it was boring, unentertaining, low scoring. Like I get it, it was a great defensive battle, but it was boring.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty much all defense the entire game.
It wasn't even a good defense about. Both teams just sucked. But just like flat out sucked.
Let me say this: the Rams look like they did not want to be there, and they did not look like they were ready to play.
Well, we all know the reality is that neither one of those teams deserved to be there in the first place.
I know
absolutely.
Both the Saints and the Chiefs got screwed in the conference championship game. So you know what?
Thank you.
The football gods wanted to end that season on a low note.
Yeah, but that was on the Zebras.
Right, exactly.
True.
So, I think the end of the day with the Giants and basically with any team, doesn't matter what you're a fan of any teams in the National Football League, don't expect your team to look like come out like a house on fire right away. Because are there going to be big plays that'll happen? Of course. But are you going to sit there and be like, if the Chiefs win like 31-28, right, tonight, are the Chiefs going to sit there and be like, all right, we're going to be great this year? They might say, well, our defense could have done a little bit better.
Right.
You never know what could happen in the end.
Exactly.
All we know, first play of the game today, pick 6.
Oh.
It could happen.
My God.
Look, the first play of the college football season was like a 75-yard touchdown run.
Yep.
It's thing. But with the Giants, they actually now have, I believe, the youngest roster in the National Football League. I think their average age per player is something like 24.6, and their average player on offense is something like 25.8. So Giants fans should understand that they may not be that good, but at least they're young, and at least there's a lot of guys being given opportunities to play. Also, new coaching staff. Let's give them an opportunity to prove if they can do it or not.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very curious of how they're going to do.
Right. I don't think we can jump off. I don't think we can throw in the towel if the Giants look like crap against the Steelers. We have to say,
because what do you expect from them? I mean, yes, I know I'm on.
There's high expectations. I know that's what everybody's been saying, like every year when we get like a new coach or a new all-star player. High expectations.
That's why I can't stand some New York sports fans. I know I'm on drugs and have them going 10-6, but I don't have them making the playoffs. Playoffs?
What?
Come on now, really?
Playoffs.
We're talking about playoffs?
You guys are great.
And anyway, though. But, yeah.
So let's see. Jimmy goes 10-6. Andrew, you said 8-8, correct?
Yes. Which is a lot more reasonable.
I think I have the most realistic record. I said 7-9.
7
Well, yeah, I know you were saying something about that on the one of the other episodes, Neil.
Yeah. We went over the schedule, and look, I don't understand why they're saying the Giants have a tough schedule. I mean, yeah, they play a lot of really good teams.
That's what everybody says.
It really isn't that tough, though.
But you look at it, the first 4 games, the Giants could easily go 2-2.
Yeah.
And are the Cowboys we have to remember, people are saying, oh, the Cowboys are the most dominant team in the NFC least, which isn't really saying anything, which is really not saying anything.
Right.
I don't know what Mike McCarthy's offense is going to be like. I cannot tell you what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, because he hasn't coached in 5 years?
No, 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
He was fired 2 years ago. No, he took a year off. But, it'll be interesting to see just how it all plays out with any of these teams that we talk about, at least from the football standpoint. I mean, a lot of the other teams we'll probably talk about are already in, mid-season form or whatever you want to call it that.
Absolutely. But bottom line, don't expect anything different from the Giants. But as far as the Jets, I mean, obviously,
here we go.
Neil and I already gave our spiel about the Jets. They basically have nothing.
Here we go.
Again, I will reiterate, Mekhi Becton is a good draft pick to protect Sam Darnold more. That's great. He needs more protection on the O-line. But he has no weapons. I mean,
Mekhi Becton's not a wide receiver.
I get that. But who does he have? I mean, you lost Jamal Adams. You lost Robbie Anderson. Quincy can't stay healthy. Who's Sam Darnold giving the ball to? And Adam Gase, we will.
And they don't have. They don't have.
Don't they have Rashad Perriman? Is Perriman on the team?
Yes.
I think so.
They have Rashad Perriman.
So other than him, I'm not calling Perriman a scrub because I think he's decent, but he's got nobody. And Adam Gase, we will keep reiterating it, is an incompetent head coach. He clearly has no idea what he's doing. He hates Le'Veon Bell. So the Jets, you have a lot more questions with them than you do the Giants.
Googly Gase.
Because at least the Giants have a little bit of a sense of direction in which they've got a young team who's still in kind of a rebuilding mode. The Jets have no direction right now, and they're just a clown show. I'm sorry.
Look, the Jets
it's a circus.
The Jets and the Giants are both kind of in the same, situation.
Pretty much on the same boat.
Yeah, it's not we're not sitting here saying the Giants are far and away better than the Jets.
Not like they used to.
But all I'm saying is that at least the Giants have a little bit of a more sense of direction, unlike the Jets right now.
I want everybody to understand, and I'll reiterate something that I mentioned last week, and that is simply that everybody wants to say, "Oh, but look at how the Jets finished last year. They went 7-9."
Oh, come on!
I get that. But
who cares?
They played several teams they played several weak teams. They played several teams that were already in the playoffs and pretty much had nothing to play for. The Cowboys game was a fluke. By the way, you are the first team in NFL history to lose to 2 winless teams in the same year.
The Bengals and the Dolphins. Yep.
I mean,
oh man,
it's one of those things where the Jets. Look, the Jets clearly don't have any weapons on offense, any big-name weapons, let's say. Is Le'Veon Bell a big weapon? The problem is that the Jets just don't want to use him. They don't – nobody
– they didn't use him that much.
The only guy that wanted Le'Veon Bell was Mike Maccagnan, because Mike Maccagnan, at least – and you could say whatever you want about Mike Maccagnan doing a poor job. There is no question about it. But at least you can say he was trying to win. First of all, he tried to sign Kirk Cousins. Now, is that a smart decision, looking back at it now? Not really.
Probably not.
No,
I'm glad the Jets do it, but at least it showed to the organization, dude, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to, get us to a point where we can be successful. So he trades up in the draft to draft Sam Darnold. That wasn't an issue with me because at least it showed that they were trying to find, the right guy. Now, would they have been better off getting, Josh Allen? Probably, but again, hindsight is 20/20. You can't. And then he goes out and signs Le'Veon Bell, which a lot of people gave the Jets a lot of credit for because it gave Sam Darnold like a weapon out of the backfield. The problem is that when Adam Gase was being interviewed, he pretty much told the Johnsons that he didn't like Le'Veon. He thought Mike McCagnon was out of control, and he won a power struggle to the point where Adam Gase became the interim general manager. The head coach won a power struggle over the sitting GM. I don't understand that. And then, of course, he hires his friend in Joe Douglas. So we already know Adam Gase is not going to get fired for another 2 or 3 years because Joe Douglas is not going to fire the guy that hired him.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, why would you have a new coach like Adam Gase to have a power struggle with Mike McCagnon, and like right after the draft, he gets axed out.
Right, and it's the thing. Like it was like you waited until after the draft to fire him, which was also weird. And the other thing is simply this: Adam Gase proved already in his career that he wasn't a good head coach.
No,
he went to Miami and had 3 straight seasons of 5-11.
Yep.
Like, am I supposed to sit here and be impressed by that? No.
I mean, look at the records that he had with the Dolphins.
And then they say, oh, he was a quarterback.
And look who he had as his quarterback. He coached Jay Cutler, for crying out loud.
And then they were like, oh, look at, he was the quarterback coach for Peyton Manning. I'm like, no. Peyton Manning is his own coach.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't need, at that point in his career, the man didn't need any help.
Nope.
I mean, the only time that Peyton Manning truly needed an offensive guru type guy was when Bruce Arians was there,
quarterback
back in the 90s. Bruce Arians did a great job, developing Peyton Manning early on in his career.
Oh, he did.
That was what and that's why I think Bruce Arians is one of the most underrated coaches in football. Just because of
100%
go watch his
agree.
football life. It'll tell you all you need to know about how smart this guy actually is. But I'm going off track. With Adam Gase, clearly you knew that Adam Gase was hired to be a puppet, a yes man, a guy who would kiss ass just to be a head coach again.
Yup.
And that's what you're seeing. So that's what you're seeing. So it's a very, and the Jets have to understand. And then you have the Jamal Adams situation. And I will be very clear about this. Any Jets fan that is calling Jamal Adams a clown is actually a clown. Because if you haven't watched this team for the last 30, 40 years, you clearly haven't understood what the Jets' MO is always.
And Neil, here's the thing. You and I actually got to see him play live against the Giants last year. And we said, if this guy leaves, the Jets not only are losing out on one of their best players, he's going to go ball out somewhere else and have a chance to win a Super Bowl.
I want everyone to understand.
And now he's going to light it up in Seattle.
The Jamal Adams situation, and this went back to the beginning of last season, if you remember. I mean, this wasn't the first time we were hearing this. The reality is that Jamal Adams, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about of course he wants to be paid.
Because he knew what was going on.
Exactly, Andrew. That's the reality. He knew that the Jets were not interested in winning. They weren't trying to get better, and he wanted out. And he wanted out.
And there was no wheels in motion, no nothing.
Right. And it wasn't like Jamal Adams specifically wanted to go to Seattle. He just wanted out. He just wanted to go somewhere else and play. And Jets fans who have seen this team at least the last 20 years, I know that not everybody's the same age, so I get that.
For like decades.
But they've always been this way. The minute that a player gets good and the point where they need to get paid a lot more, they get traded away or they just don't get paid. So do you think Sam Darnold is going to get paid? If he's going to get paid, he's going to get paid less than what he's actually worth. They're going to lowball him. They do this all the time. They just get rid of these guys because they're trying to save money all the time. They're just taking money away from Jets fans. So I'm sorry, but that's just the reality of the situation. So the Jets did not get any better, except maybe their offensive line. People want to always talk about the Giants' offensive line for the last 7-8 years.
The Jets are just as bad.
The Jets are just as bad.
I mean, no wonder why that they're never successful.
So this is why I said you look at the Jets' schedule and you look at who they're playing. 3-13 is what I'm seeing. That's my reality. I'm seeing 3-13. I'm not seeing a team that can.
Yeah, I see that too.
I said 5-11.
It could be 3-13 or
4-12. Look at their division. They're not going to beat the Patriots either time.
No.
I don't care who's at quarterback.
Not even the Bills either.
Even if Jarrett Stidham came in, they're not going to win that game. You have the Bills, and knowing the Jets when they play the Bills, they usually screw it up. So that's 4 losses right there. And then you play the Dolphins. Now, you'll probably win one of the 2 games there, but that means you went 1-5 in your division. 5 losses already. I'm sorry, but Adam Gase is an incompetent head coach. He is this is what it is. Just call it like it is. The Jets don't care about winning. They haven't cared about winning in a long time. When the Jets were good back in 2009 and 2010 when they were going to the playoffs, that happened by accident.
In the conference championship.
Yep.
That happened by accident.
Yeah, it just happened.
It just happened. And then what happened after that? They ruined Sanchez's career.
They've been nowhere ever since.
Right. They've ruined so many players that by the time they leave at most of the time, they're not that good anymore. At least Jamal Adams had the presence of mind to get out of there before it was too late.
Yeah.
Before it was too late. And you saw Jamal Adams. He was like, I don't like Adam Gase. He sucks. I want Greg Williams to be the head coach. And it's like,
it's all about the headlines.
I have no problem with that. Do I think Greg Williams will still make this defense competitive? I do. Even though I don't think they have much talent, I think that they'll be a physical defense. What about their offense? Bro. The offense is going to be disgusting.
Yeah, let's not.
No, it's just, look, the Jets are just the same Jets that I've seen the last 15 years. Nothing has changed.
Yep.
Nothing has changed. And the Jets, people say the Jets stands for just end the season. No, the Jets stands for just enough to succumb. They get to the point where they bring you back in, give you all this hope, and then right before it gets to the boiling point, they break your heart again and do some stupid crap. So, I don't think we have to go any further with this because we know the Jets are not good. We know they're not going to be good.
If you want more info, buy Neil's book. It'll tell you everything you need.
Pain.
Yes, pain. You can buy it on Amazon for $19.69, and if you're a Jets fan, you know why he chose that price.
Do you really just take my whole saying?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry, Neil.
I'm trying to help you here, man. But anyway,
by the way, Neil, one of these days I gotta check out that book of yours.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, I would love. Look, I get a small percentage of the money, so anything helps.
Hey,
and one more thing here.
Go ahead.
I forgot to mention that they gave away Robbie Anderson too.
Well, I mean, they didn't give him away. They just let him go.
Give him away. I mean, he was a free agent, to be fair.
I mean, he did have a decent season last year.
He's like,
because he was the only weapon Sam Darnold had.
Yeah.
Right.
So you lost your only weapon. Now you have nobody. So
he's basically not got nothing.
Look, they have 2 solid guys, in my opinion, Chris Herndon and Ryan Griffin. I mean, could the Jets do something with those guys? Yeah, but when you're preparing for the Jets, it's simply this. All right, you know what? Let's just blitz 75% of the time. There's a good chance we're going to be fine. Because if you really think that any of the receivers that the Jets have is going to somehow beat anybody's, secondary, I don't.
Probably not. No.
You want to look, at least with the Dolphins, you can see they're trying to get good again. They're building their team. They got
they're actually doing something about it.
Right. They got Byron Jones. They drafted Tua. I mean, they clearly want to make their team better.
Fitzpatrick's their quarterback.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? If Fitzpatrick's your quarterback, you are guaranteed 6 wins.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. The Dolphins win 6 games, and then let's say Tua comes in and wins you another 2, 3. You're like 8-8, 9-7.
Yeah, around there.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is the greatest quarterback in NFL history through 4 games. He's the greatest quarterback.
4 games, yeah.
If you remember 2 years ago when he was in Tampa, you remember this? He was in Tampa. The man had over 1,000 yards passing through 3 weeks.
Yeah, he still had it going.
He was giving you so many fantasy numbers, it was a joke. Right, and then what happened?
About the numbers.
Look, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a poor man's Brett Favre. He's a riverboat gambler. He's just he's gonna do what he's got to do. But do I think the Dolphins are making the right decision? I do.
Yeah,
because I think you have to continue to slowly bring Tua in because Tua's injury was not like one of those typical it takes 6 months to recover from. It's like you got to give him a chance to be fully 100% ready to go so that when he does come in, you give them an opportunity to not get totally destroyed.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
maybe you have them go up against the Jets or something like that. You know what I mean? No,
Right.
I'm serious.
Right.
I'm saying, like, give them a team that gives them give them an opponent that gives them a legitimate chance to have success and possibly beat. Because if you give them that confidence right away, it just, skyrockets.
Yep, absolutely. But bottom line, don't expect anything different from the Jets. Don't expect anything different from the Giants. Although, like we said, the Giants clearly have a little bit more of a sense of direction than the Jets. And then you have the Yankees. Oh boy. I mean, my God almighty. I mean, stop the presses. They actually won a freaking baseball game last night. Thank God.
Yeah, about time.
And boy, did they need that bad. But in all honesty, Andrew, I hate to say it, but at the rate they're playing right now, they ain't making no damn playoffs. I'm sorry.
It's not going to happen. I've seen their record for the past 2 weeks, and I've been disgusted of how they've been playing, and I'm like, no. Even though with the 60-game season, it's been a bust.
Yeah. The whole season's been a joke. One game they can't hit. One game they can't pitch. One game they can't defend. I mean, it's one thing after another. And Gardner's not hitting. Sanchez has been abysmal.
Oh my God!
The only 4 guys that are hitting for this team right now are DJ LeMay, who you never have to worry about, Gleyber Torres, who just came back, Clint Frazier, who's finally getting his chance and has actually looked really, really good.
Right.
And on occasion, Miguel Andujar, who's also getting his chance.
After like what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. And I say that, Neil, because we talked about it. Miguel Andujar deserves more chances. Yeah, he didn't have a good game against the Blue Jays last night, but you know what? He actually has shown some flashes.
Yeah, he's been in and out.
Yeah, pretty much. But listen, bottom line, I don't need to say any more about the Yankees. They're not making no damn playoffs. With the rate this is going, 2 weeks left. It's not happening.
Ever since they won those games against the Braves and the Red Sox over a month ago, they've been slacking.
Completely fallen off the map.
They've been slacking.
And even if and when they get Judge and Stanton back, what good is that going to do?
It doesn't matter either way.
What good is that going to do?
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead, Neil. Go ahead.
I mean, I know I'm gonna sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I understand people's reaction to these things, but I'm just gonna try to come out and speak my mind.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I meant to say the 4th guy was not Andujar. Luke Voigt.
Yeah, him too.
So you're not gonna count on Duhar at all then?
I am.
So then you really don't watch this team.
I am.
That's awesome.
I am.
No, that's fine. No,
I
it's
am
fine.
a little
It's
bit.
fine.
A little bit.
Every Yankee fan just wants to think how the organization thinks that Andujar is overrated, which I love. I absolutely love that people think.
Excuse me?
I really do. Wait, you guys think that I think Andujar is overrated?
No.
I didn't say that.
I'm saying
not only that, but
he
he hasn't done much of everything for the past 2 years.
Well, first of all, last year he was hurt most of the year.
Right,
So
yeah, he was hurt last year.
And then you have, and to no fault of his own, Gio Urshela played out of his mind last year.
Oh.
Also, Gio Urshela is about to turn 30 years old and become a free agent. To be honest with you, I wouldn't necessarily give him the money. I would be more happy with putting Andujar in, because Andujar is still not getting paid very much for now.
Right.
But let me go through a couple things. Let me just, because I have a lot to say about the Yankees and what I'm seeing. Isn't of all, the starting pitching is fine. The starting pitching is fine. Anybody who thinks it isn't.
Starting pitching is fine, yes.
Garrett Cole, so what? He gives up a home run every game. This
like you said before,
the last 3 years.
Like you said before.
It's like nobody was watching. Even with you can ask Astro fans. He was doing the same thing.
Yep.
This is not new. Okay. So everybody relax. Everybody just relax a little bit.
Meanwhile, David Garcia looks like the real deal.
David Garcia looks really good. I would like him to stay up with the big club the rest of the year. And if that's the case, then you got yourself your third or fourth pitcher. Right? We have to remember. Luis Severino has been out the whole year.
Yeah.
I think people forgot that he's still on this team.
Yeah.
And we don't know the situation with Domingo Germán either. So.
Oh, please.
And Domingo Germán is a solid pitcher. Is he still very young? Yeah. Is he gonna, but we don't really know what's going on with Domingo Germán. Anyway.
Yeah, with the whole thing that's going on with him.
If he didn't decide to be an idiot, let's just say that.
Yeah, he decided to be a stupid ass.
Well, let's go through their rotation at the moment. So you have Garrett Cole. You have Tanaka, also fine. Two right there, first two guys, you're good. Then you have Happ. I'd rather the Yankees move on from him.
He's been decent.
Happ will probably not be on this team next year.
No.
Then you have
maybe
Paxton.
not.
I'm sorry, Paxton. He's got to go. I'm sorry, he's got to go. I'm not. The Big Maple is just not what he needs to be. I'm sorry, and I don't really want to hear the excuse about, it's a shortened season. Yeah, well, every team has to deal with that. It ain't just you, my friend. So right there, you have Jordan Montgomery, who, remember, this man hasn't pitched
in 2 years.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
So let's give him a break. Let's give him a little bit of a break, all right?
And so far, he's been doing okay.
Yeah.
And he's doing okay.
Okay.
So you have three pitchers right away. You have Cole, you have Tanaka, and you have Montgomery, all right? So
and then with the addition of David Garcia, those four.
And then you have David Garcia.
Yeah, him too.
And then next year, if Severino's healthy, you have 5 starting pitchers. That's great. I mean, that's great. The Yankees obviously got to bring back Tanaka. I would imagine they would probably give him money at some point. We'll see what happens with that. Who the hell knows?
Right.
Then you have the bullpen, and the problem with the bullpen is that they keep putting in these young guys, like Albert Abreu, Clark Schmidt, Nick Nelson.
Yeah.
You put them in a situation where, of course, they're going to fail. Like, you put them in when you have runners on.
They're going to blow it.
And they're young pitchers, and it's like you're ruining their confidence right away. Do I think
they're putting the other pressure on them?
Do I think the Yankees bullpen is as bad as Yankee fans say it is? No, not really. I don't think so. I think that the Yankees bullpen is fine. I'm laughing also about it because this is the same bullpen to an extent that everybody was saying last year was the best in baseball, which also wasn't saying very much.
No, it was not.
No.
So I'll ask Yankee fans this question. Would you rather have the Yankees bullpen or the Phillies bullpen right now?
Which Yankees
would you rather
bullpen.
have?
The Yankees
bullpen.
Would you rather have the Yankees bullpen or the Mets bullpen?
Yankees.
Would you rather have the Yankees bullpen or the Marlins bullpen that just gave up 29 runs last night?
The Yankees.
Would you rather have the Yankees bullpen or whoever the freaking Brewers played last night and put up 18 runs against?
Oh my God!
The Tigers? The Yankees.
Yes, the Tigers. So everybody relax, all right? They're not losing games because of their bullpen all the time. They're losing games because the Yankees have a handful of guys on this team that can't hit in a timely situation. They're not.
All right, quick edit there. Sorry about that, but go ahead, Neil.
So again, I think the Yankees have a handful of guys that are playing right now, that are not clutch whatsoever, that don't understand the term timely hit. They don't come through when you need them to come through. This game is all about emotion, ladies and gentlemen. And the Yankees have very little emotion because the organization has made it clear. And I'm talking about Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner, and those guys. They made it clear. Guys, we're tanking the rest of the season. We're not trying to win. This is the team that we have. No help is coming. You guys are on your own, and that's, you need to play better. It's just.
There's no confidence. There's no motivation. No nothing.
Right. The Yankees see this as a washed year. They're like, we have injuries. It's a 60-game season. It doesn't really count anyway, blah, blah, blah.
With all the injuries last year, what did they do? They won over 100 games.
They won 100. They won 103 games last year, and
so that argument,
almost almost went to the World Series if it wasn't for the cheating Astros.
So that argument, that argument is out the window. We can't, arguments out the window. Oh, it's injury. No, because this team won 100 games last year.
It don't matter
with injuries. So let's just forget about that. Look, this whole situation we're seeing, and people were talking about it last year, like, oh, it's the first decade in a long time that the Yankees haven't been to or won the World Series. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain. Hal Steinbrenner doesn't care about winning.
Yeah, he's not like the boss.
He cares about making money.
And people want Aaron Boone's head. Really?
Excuse me?
What more do you want Aaron Boone to do? Now, I get it. He has made some very questionable moves. What more can Aaron Boone do? Like, what do you want from him? Like, leave him alone, for God's sake.
Can I put it in terms with how Steinbrenner saying, like, he's the master of puppets?
But
anyway, I'm sorry.
Go back to, George Steinbrenner was still heavily involved in 2009, even though, he was getting up there in age. He forced Hal Steinbrenner to go out and get Sabathia, A.J. Burnett, Mark Teixeira. He forced him to do that. By the time George Steinbrenner kind of decided to stop being involved, because, again, age was catching up to him, Hal Steinbrenner knew that he had full control now, and he could do what he wanted with this team. And so the Yankees, if you notice, they're not really trying to get guys that, are really clutch, and he's not really trying to get this team to win, because guess what? They're still winning 90 to 100 games in the regular season. They're making all this money, but, they're not really,
But in the end,
trying to win.
Nothing came through.
Yeah, and you could say, oh, what do you mean they're not trying to win? They made the playoffs like 4 out of 6 years after 2009. I get that.
Don't matter.
Guess what? Did they make the World Series? Are they trying to make it? No. And I don't want to hear this crap no more. And they're like, oh, but they traded for Stanton. I'm like, they traded for Stanton to make Stanton the newest version of Alex Rodriguez. That's basically what they did. A guy who's making $200+ million over 13 years that all he does half the time is swing and miss at balls in the dirt. That's all he does. This is A-Rod 2.0. I mean, it really is.
Like I said.
And so you look at this, and the Yankees had, if you go back, let's go back to 2017, shall we? The Yankees had a roster that wasn't even at $100,000 on the payroll. I mean, really, they had probably the lowest payroll of any team in baseball.
And that was a fun team to watch.
And you had a fun team
God.
with no expectation.
They had the motivation, like I said.
And we knew that most likely Joe Girardi was going to be out the door anyway. Like, we knew that was going to happen regardless. Even if the Yankees won the World Series, Girardi probably would have been out. That's just the way I look at it. But ever since then, what have the Yankees done to improve, really?
Nothing really.
The only two things you can think of is, they brought in Stanton, who sucks, and they brought in Garrett Cole. And, Garrett Cole's going to be good. I'm not
right.
Yeah, but plus he hasn't been around that long.
Right, and he's been here for not even a full season.
He's only been here 5 minutes. So
the reality is
2 months.
The reality is simply that the Yankees are not that 100% interested in winning. They were talking about on Luke Voigt was saying, oh, teams are not afraid to play the Yankees. Teams haven't been afraid to play the Yankees in over a decade. I mean, was teams scared to play the Yankees in 2017? No. There was low expectations anyway. You didn't know what you were getting with that team. And now you look at this lineup and like the beginning of this year, you would say, oh, the Yankees have the most dominant lineup. Well, what does that mean? What does that really mean when you say dominant?
There's no proof.
What it means is simply this. Oh, they can hit home runs. Well, guess what? The ball does not go as far in October and November as it does in freaking July.
Yep.
So by the time we get to the postseason, the Yankees are an atrocious team for the most part when it comes to coming through and just needing a simple base hit or a bunt or a sacrifice fly. They can't do that. They haven't been able to do that.
No, they haven't.
People want to say, let's blame Aaron Boone. Well, let's be honest here. Aaron Boone is a puppet. Why was he hired in the first place? Because he wasn't going to be a guy that was going to go above the organization to try to put the team in the best position. He was going to do what Cashman and what Steinbrenner wants him to do. So we look at someone like and say, why is Tyler Wade playing so much? There is something going on between Tyler Wade and the Yankees organization that for some reason the Yankees love him so much.
He's been absolutely terrible.
You need to tell me that Tyler Wade is a more reliable player on a game-to-game basis than Miguel Andujar?
No.
Because
to
if you
be
are
truthful, I'd rather have Thairo Estrada over Tyler Wade.
Thairo Estrada.
Because at least Thairo Estrada has shown flashes where he can hit.
Thairo Estrada is not that good. I'm sorry. He just hasn't been. He just hasn't been. He's batting almost under 200, Jimmy. What are you talking about? He's batting almost under 200, and he's had plenty of chances.
Yeah, but what's Tyler Wade done?
I'm not saying that Tyler Wade is better, but I'm talking. You mean to tell me that Andujar is the third best option there?
Excuse me?
What are we talking about? There's clearly something going on in the Yankees organization that we as fans don't know about and won't know about. But that's why I bring up this whole thing that people want to say is a conspiracy theory, is that the Yankees are not that concerned with winning. The interest
no, they aren't.
I'll say it again. The interest of the owners is not the same as the interest of the fans. Yankee fans want the Yankees to win all the time.
And like I said before, Hal Steinbrenner is not like George.
Hal Steinbrenner, yes, exactly, because George Steinbrenner, and look, he pissed off a lot of people in his time. There is no question.
Totally.
Yeah, but how'd it work out for him?
But here's the thing. He cared. He wanted the Yankees to win. He wanted to be the most dominant team.
He was very passionate.
And he did that. He did that twice in his lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Hal Steinbrenner doesn't care as much. He's treating the Yankees like any other franchise. He's being just like any other owner you see in sports. This is no different. This is no different. It honestly is. The only difference is that the Yankees are an historic franchise that they could fill the stands all the time, even if the team is mediocre, and they'll still make the same amount of money. The reality is that the Yankees are not trying to win. They're not trying to. And if you guys think that the Yankees are going to make household changes after this year, you're dead wrong. Most of these guys are probably going to be back next year. And you'll notice by that point, you'll say, maybe the Yankees really aren't trying to win. Maybe they're not. Because it's like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you trying? Like, the reality is that the Yankees don't care. They don't care. The players know what's going on right now. They know. And here's the thing about Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Judge is not that hurt. They are lying to everybody.
He's not.
The reality is that you know what Aaron Judge's due at the end of this year? He's due a new contract. Don't you find it a little bit interesting that Judge came back from the IL, played one game, was taken out in the exact
then he's back in the IL
that he got taken out the last time, and he's due for a contract. The Yankees are going to try to lowball him because they'll say, well, Judge, every single year you've played less and less games, and this year you missed nearly the entire year. Why do you deserve $30 million per year? The Yankees are trying to lowball him. I know it's obvious. It's obvious. I'm seeing it. I'm absolutely seeing it. And
yeah, me too.
It's a very sad thing to see because Judge is a fine baseball player. He needs to work on coming through in timely situations more. He does at times, but he needs to get better at that.
He does more than Stanton does.
Well, there isn't much of a comparison.
And they've been working their butts off to prepare for the season. And what do? They get muscle aches.
Right. Well, they got it. They didn't get into what is called baseball shape. They got into and so that was their big issue. But the Yankees don't care about this year. They're throwing it in. They're going to finish below the Orioles. It's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Just let it. They're going to finish this year. Nothing will change. Aaron Boone will still stay on. And then maybe, just maybe, Yankee fans will start to really see the reality of what's going on. And here's a good example. The Yankees won 3 games in a row against the Mets, right? You guys remember this. Not too long ago. They won 3 games against the Mets.
But
were they good doing it? Did they look good doing it?
No.
They did not deserve to win those games.
Matter of fact, 2 of the 3 games that they won against the Mets shot themselves in the foot. It was their own damn fault that they lost.
The Mets
and quite frankly, the Yankees should have lost all 5 games against the Mets.
The Yankees should be on something like a 15-game losing streak the way they've been playing.
Yep.
But last night, Voit, DJ, Labor, Clint, Andujar, they came through with timely hits that got you runs.
They did.
It came through. If you find more consistency with that, you're going to be a very intimidating baseball team. And by the way, everybody that's listening, there is such thing as clutch hitting, okay? Stop trying to say that it doesn't exist, that players are not just born to be clutch. That's a lie. They are. Okay?
It's there. They're just not showing it.
Derek Jeter was a born-to-be clutch player, okay? And guess what? Here's the best example, and Jimmy, you've heard me use this example all the time. There's only one reason why the Yankees won the World Series in 2009. It's because A-Rod actually came through.
He came through in the clutch.
It's you use Stanton the same way. If Stanton were to stay healthy and come through in the timely situations in the postseason, the Yankees are an unbeatable team. Nobody's going to touch them. No single team is going to touch them. That's just the reality of it. Because you know that everybody else, the regulars, the guys, including the guys that are hurt right now, can at one point or another come through. If Stanton's coming through as well, you're done. You are absolutely done. Same thing with Sanchez. But I was saying this to Andrew before. The Yankees need to move on from Sanchez. It's over.
Oh, totally.
It's absolutely over. Jimmy, I'm telling you once again, stop defending Sanchez because he's not very good.
No,
he's not very
good.
Overrated.
At this point, I can't anymore.
Time to move on. I don't care if you
just
trade him.
bench
I don't
him
care
for
if
the
you
rest
release
of
him.
the season,
Let him go.
Please.
Look, let him go. Let him go to
or
let him go to Oakland.
Tournament.
Okay, let him go. You know what? Matter of fact, let him go to Colorado and hit 50 home runs, but bat 165. Okay, let him go do that. I would rather have Austin Romine and Kyle Higashioka be behind the plate on a game-to-game basis.
Yeah,
can we please bring Romine back?
It's a good player.
Matter of fact, here's what you can do. Get rid of Sanchez. Give all the money you possibly can to JT Realmuto in the offseason, and you're done. Because at least JT Realmuto can hit the ball in a timely situation when you need it.
And JT's one of the best catchers in baseball right now.
He is the best catcher in baseball.
He is.
And guys, I'm sorry. Gary Sanchez isn't even in the top 10.
Not anymore.
Not right now, no.
Not anymore.
He has a liability with the glove. The only thing that he has that's anything worth the damn is his arm.
And he keeps swinging at pitches where he shouldn't be swinging at.
He swings at fastballs down the middle. That's how bad he is.
He swings the bat like a golf club.
So the Yankees are – they don't – all right, look. I said before that they suck, but the reality is that the Yankees don't suck, okay? They don't suck.
No,
the reality is that they have a lot of guys on this team that shouldn't be on this team, that are just not timely hitting. Their fielding is okay, and that's about it. And that's what – you have 5 guys in the lineup that are batting below 200. I mean, come on, man.
Under the Mendoza line.
That's a that's really bad if you have
It's a problem.
Guys. I mean, and Marcus Timms should be fired. If this is the best he can do, get him out of here. Bring back Kevin Long. I care less.
Yeah, please bring him back.
And by the way, why did you get rid of Larry Rothschild? Why? Who the hell is this Matt Blake guy?
Yeah, I had no idea
Matt
who
Blake
he was.
came from college baseball, okay? First of all. Number 2, Larry Rothschild wasn't that good.
What?
He wasn't that good. No, he wasn't that good.
What do you mean?
But then again, look, it's really tough to analyze pitching coaches just because of the fact that, like, all they can do is just talk to the guy. They can't really do much of anything else. But the last great pitching coach the Yankees had, honestly, was like Mel Stoudemire a long time ago. That was like the last one. I mean, you could say Dave Island was pretty decent, especially like early on when he was with Joe Girardi.
Yeah.
But after a while, he just wasn't good. So I'm not concerned about Matt Blake. I'm concerned about Marcus Timms not knowing what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what's going on. The Yankees don't try to improve these guys. They just say, go out there and just hit better. They didn't work on Sanchez. Are you kidding me? Sanchez has played in 2 games since he got off the bench, and he's gotten what? 1 hit? If that,
and 50 strikeouts?
He's pathetic. He's a pathetic hitter.
Come on.
So
pretty much bottom line is that
we move on to the Mets because at least we have something to talk about with the Mets.
Well, not really that much, although they got a big win against the Orioles last night. But at least, like we said before, the Mets clearly have a much more clearer sense of direction right now than the Yankees as far as offense is concerned, because at least they have guys that can hit. Conforto, J.D. Davis, Robinson Cano. I can go on and on and on. They actually have guys that can hit. Their bullpen is still questionable, but even still, their offense, no questions there. Defense, no questions there. Oh, and by the way, Dominic Smith is probably having his best season so far in his career.
Yeah.
So the Mets, I don't have any real questions with them other than their ownership and their bullpen still. But even still, bottom line, offensively, the Mets clearly much better than the Yankees.
Yeah, isn't Stephen Cohen about to be the new owner now?
Well, I think A-Rod and J-Lo have gotten back in the mix.
Yeah,
I think there wasn't there like one more person that's getting it? I think Justin Timberlake is getting involved.
This is here. I'll explain where we at because I this is the definitive answer that we have. As of right now, Steve Cohen and the Wilpons have a private negotiation coming. That they're doing right now.
Right.
So in a way, you can say, okay, it's basically now just Steve Cohen. But A-Rod and J-Lo, particularly J-Lo, came out maybe 2 days ago with another bid that is a lot more, and they put up also promises that they were going to do. So one of them was to increase their payroll from 2018 and increase it by 3 times the amount.
Wow.
Guaranteed a World Series in 10 years, which it's like, yeah, you know what? What's another 40 years? Am I right? What's
there you go.
Wait for another World Series. What both Steve Cohen and A-Rod and J-Lo's company, group has at least said is that they're trying to get the Mets to be a competitive franchise again.
Right.
They're trying to put them on the map. So at least in that regard, you could say they care. Steve Cohen literally said he's willing to buy everything from the Wilpons. That includes SMY, not just the Mets. He's trying to literally take everything. I think that the Mets, the Wilpons, let's say, are using this Steve Cohen thing to force A-Rod and J-Lo to give up more money. Because I think, honestly and truly, the Wilpons want A-Rod and J-Lo to take over the team. Jeff Wilpon reportedly hates Steve Cohen. Don't know why. Don't really care either way. But that's what we're dealing with. This is going to end up being bad either way. This is going to end ugly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This it's the Mets. This happens all the time. But I think it's going to end badly one way or the other. It's not going to be this seamless transition that everybody's hoping for if you're a Mets fan. It's a difficult year for the Mets because you have all these uncertainties about the rest of the season. We don't know if Bernie Van Wagenen is going to remain on after this year. I don't know if Steve Cohen or A-Rod and J-Lo are going to want to keep him. They may want to get rid of him. I have no idea. And we just don't know who's going to take over the Mets. For all we know, at the 13th hour, like we had 9 months ago, the Mets could just back out and do this crap all over again and just be like, no, in reality, the Mets don't really want to sell the team. They might be forced. They might be being forced by some people, but who knows? It's just that's like the biggest discussion that we can have with the Mets right now. Because the Mets are not bad. They're not a bad team. They're mediocre. They're
abysmal.
They're pretty much right where they're supposed to be.
Right. So it's
typical Mets.
Right. But so with this whole situation, it's simply this: Do the Wilpons? How much of the ownership do they really want to give up? Do they just want to move on? Is that what we're dealing with? Do they want to have some power? I don't know. If they go with A-Rod and J-Lo, it's a
mystery.
Jeff Wilpon is going to have some say in organizational pull.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. If Steve Cohen buys the team, it's Steve Cohen and no one else.
Yep.
No one else has a say. It's Steve Cohen and his team. And we have to remember, Steve Cohen is a diehard, born and bred Mets fan. This is one of his dreams. This is like one of his ultimate dreams in life, to buy his team, his favorite team. And he wants to, and he has enough money.
He wants to run the show.
This team, he wants to make this team to the point where people want to go play for the Mets.
Right.
Stars, big name players go to the Mets. He's willing to give up a lot of money. And trust me, there are a lot of really good players that are going to be free agents and trade assets next year. If Steve Cohen takes over, you don't think he's going to try to get some of those big name players to come?
He might.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe not.
You don't think Scott Boras is licking his chops if Steve Cohen takes over the Mets? Because Steve Cohen got all the money. He's worth $13 billion.
Yep.
Wow.
Dude, Scott Boras is going to take advantage of him wholeheartedly. It's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So, but from a business standpoint, it would make more sense for the Mets to take Steve Cohen's money. Because if he's giving you $4 or $5 billion, you'd be really stupid not to take that. But if you're going to take A-Rod and J-Lo's bid of something like 2.5, it wasn't about the money. It was about something that had to do with power. So, because the only thing that's bigger than money is power.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This is going to end up not being as great as either way. Even though as somebody who knows a lot of Mets fans, I would like them to get Steve Cohen because I really believe in what he's saying and that he's trying to build this team.
Right.
I agree.
I do believe A-Rod and J-Lo have good intentions. I do. I think that they really would want to try to make the Mets good. Okay? But they'd have to hire a lot of baseball minds that really, I'm not saying A-Rod doesn't know the game. But I think A-Rod specifically wants to do this to try to compete with Jeter. I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's still that weird relationship between those two.
Right.
It would be fun to see both of them competing against one another, but I also did read J-Lo be the one that's really in charge, and the only kind of power, I guess you could say, that A-Rod would have is just primarily on the baseball team, which is fine. Keep the guy who understands the game involved in the game. Let's keep it like that. So it'll be interesting to see. Technically, the Mets went into private negotiations with Cohen before the deadline. So, we might not know, honestly, until maybe another month or two. I mean, we really don't know.
Yeah, probably not until the off season.
Well, the Wilpons said that they wanted to get the team sold by the end of this year. So if that's the case, then it's gonna happen at some point over the next 3 months. It may be, Andrew, you may be absolutely right. They may wait till the end of the season before.
Yeah, like sometime after the World Series or whenever after that.
Yeah, they may just be like, you know what? Let's just wait and see where this goes. I don't know what these private negotiations are, what this means. I don't know what this means, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But bottom line with the Mets is that they're typical. They're where they should be. And let's see what happens with ownership at the end of the year. And last but not least, to wrap things up, let's think of the Islanders a little bit in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Not only are the playoffs crazy, but what's happening with the Islanders? I mean, game one against Tampa, they lay an absolute egg. They lose 8-2.
They pretty much gave up a touchdown and an extra
2-point conversion. 2-point conversion. Game two, they were a little better, but they lost with like 7 seconds left on the clock, and Kucherov scoring that goal. But am I hitting the panic button with the Islanders just yet? No, but there is
not yet.
There is a little bit cause. If they lose and they're down 3-0, okay, then it's time to panic, because it's not like we haven't seen teams come down from 3-0 or 3-1 before. It has happened. But with the way Tampa's playing, if the Islanders go down 3-0, and don't forget, I picked Tampa in 7 games. With the way Tampa's playing right now, the Islanders could get swept if this keeps up. So if I'm an Islanders fan, I'm saying to myself, what do they have to do to improve their game? They obviously need to score more. They're not a high-scoring offensive team. But if they're going to outscore Tampa, they need to, A, score first, B, score multiple goals, maybe go up like 2-3-0, and B, they have to defend. They have to defend. They can't block shots against this team. And their goaltending's been a bit questionable at best, outside of game 2, at least. But bottom line, with the Islanders, I'm not hitting the panic button yet, but there is cause for concern here.
Do you want me to speak, or I thought?
No, go ahead.
Here's the thing with the Islanders, and I've kind of mentioned this before. The Islanders were tired in game 1. They had just come up playing a 7-game series against the Flyers. They have played in 3 playoff series already, including the qualifying round. So they've been playing at a high, energy level since we got to the bubble. So that's the first thing we have to understand. The neutral zone trap defense that the Islanders play can be beat if you are able to figure it out. And you can see in game one that it was a combination of those two things. I think the Islanders were just tired. I'm not going to be critical. I was certainly surprised by the amount of goals. And I believe it was Brian Burke, who is the play-by-play guy for the Islanders on MSG.
Yeah.
He was on the post-game show after game one saying, it looks like the Lightning are trying to end the series after one game. They were trying to demoralize the Islanders.
Yep.
Yeah, because Tampa had a lot of time off after they won against Boston.
Right. They had well over a week before game one.
They
did.
And they had time to prepare.
They were anxious to get going. That's what you saw in this. And
by the way, sorry to cut you off. Speaking of Boston, Bruce Cassidy did win the Jack Adams Award, so
he did.
But congratulations to him. Even though I think John Tortorella should have won it, but I'll still offer my congratulations.
Such a popularity thing, man. It really is stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
It really is.
I like I said, I think John Tortorella got robbed. Tortorella should have won it.
Tortorella gets robbed every year.
That's
whatever. He gets robbed every year, but who cares? Anyway,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then you go into game two. I think Varlamov did play, right? Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played great in net. That was a game that the Islanders like to play. They like to play low scoring, defensive, grinded out type of thing. Now, when Alex Killorn made that hit and got ejected, I did think that the Islanders were going to score a goal or two and kind of take control of that game. But just like Vancouver, if you go back to Vancouver getting knocked out in Game 7 against Vegas, the Islanders just couldn't score. And they passed the puck way too much. I think they overthought it, and that's what happened. Now, you have a 5-on-3 at the end of the game. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to score at least one goal.
Yeah.
So it didn't surprise me that the Lightning scored. And everybody says, how the hell could you leave Kucherov wide open? Well, you had 3 guys on the ice. What the hell do you want them to do?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
They got a pretty good bunch of players.
When you're in a 5-on-3 defensively, you're really just going to collide to the net. You're going to try to just protect the net. You're not necessarily concerned about going man to man and trying to cover somebody. You're basically just like, okay, here. We're going to try to crash the net, and we're going to try to make sure we can get in front.
Right.
That was the case where it was a beautiful pass. Kucherov gets the 1T, and he scores. And if Varlamov was a second earlier, he makes that save. And who knows? We go to overtime, and maybe the Islanders win. And we're talking about a completely different scenario right now. If the Islanders are going to continue to play the way they played in Game 2, they're not going to get swept. They're going to be competitive. And all they got to do is just get Game 3. They get Game 3, they're right back in the series. So Trotz is not panicking. The Islanders are not panicking. We have to remember that the Islanders were not even expected to be here at this point. This is the first time since 1993 that they actually got to the conference finals.
Oh, yeah.
And they're taking on a Lightning team that literally has everything to lose.
Yep.
They have everything. If they don't get it done this year, it's just pathetic. I mean, it's just bad that you couldn't even do it. But I'm not worried about it. I am concerned about, is Braden Point going to be healthy for Game 3? Because if he's not in the lineup, that's going to be a big loss for.
That's going to be.
And Braden Point's been the hottest player right now.
He's been the hottest player in the entire.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
If the Lightning go all the way and win the Cup, he's win the Conn Smythe without a doubt.
Oh, totally.
He's the best player on that team.
Absolutely.
The Islanders looked like what I saw in the regular season, where they were struggling to score goals. That's constantly been their Achilles heel. They just haven't gotten the consistent scoring from everybody. Matt Martin scored the only goal for the Islanders last night. Matt Martin, a fourth-liner. That's a problem, because you have Barzal, you have Andersley, you have Brock Nelson, you have J.G. Pageau. You have all these guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. And
Still
they couldn't.
Beauvillier, too.
Anthony Beauvillier.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing it. So if the Islanders are going to continue to play the way they were playing in Game 2, playing in these low-scoring games, it plays into their favor, because eventually the puck's going to start bouncing their way. But if the Lightning get out and they're scoring 2-3 goals early on, I just can't see the Islanders finding a way to score that many goals and coming back. So it's not time to panic yet. If they do lose game 3, you may have to panic at that point.
Yeah,
but,
you're gonna have to. They have to fire themselves up at some point.
No, they don't need anything other than to just continue to go out and play the way that they were playing in game 2.
Right.
Because they know that was one of those games where it could have gone either way. They, like I said, they could have won last night, and we'd be sitting here going, I think we got a series here, boys, because it'd be 1-1 instead of 2-0.
Yep.
And obviously there's no home ice advantage in this, not
everything.
at all. But the Islanders are fine. Trotz understands what's going on. He knows that the team is going to respond the same way, and they'll be okay. They're just going to continue to go out and fight. And that's what you're going to see in game 3. So I expect the Islanders to come out and play the same way and be as competitive. And I think there's a good chance that they can win and they can get back in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been resilient all playoff long. Now, obviously, this is the most adversity they've faced, but you have to face adversity in order to be a Stanley Cup champion. This is that opportunity for the Islanders to face adversity square in the face and try to win this series. So let's see what happens going into game 3.
Yep. Absolutely. But bottom line is we're not panicking with the Islanders just yet. But if they go down 3-0, then yeah, maybe it's time to hit the panic button and say, you know what, this series could potentially be over. Even if they do win like a game 4, they're probably not coming back from 3-0. I'm sorry. Even though it has happened, but we'll see. But before we wrap things up, Andrew, we got to ask you this since we are approaching 200 episodes. What has been your favorite moment so far of this podcast?
Wow, that's a tough question. I like all of
them. Every single one, huh?
Hey, the man likes his content.
Yeah, I just love listening to you guys, no matter what you're talking about. Either it's baseball, football, hockey, soccer, whatever it is. I just love to hear you guys.
Thank you.
Well, dude, we really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And this is why you are considered the OG. Because we know that you've been listening since it was just me. And we're
You like you said before. I started listening when you were solo. When you started the podcast on Anchor.
Yep, I started the podcast on Anchor back in 2019, and.
Because I was hearing about it on Facebook at first, but then I was like, oh, okay, he came up with a podcast. Okay, I'll give it a listen. And I've been hooked ever since.
Thank you, man. We really do appreciate that. And God knows I never use Facebook anymore. So that goes out the window, but I digress. But
I message you off air, on and off.
Oh, yeah, no, you do. Excuse me, But no, in all seriousness, though, we really do appreciate your support and your continued support throughout all these years. And we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're just getting started. But with that being said, Andrew, we can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your day to
thank you, sir.
Finally come on.
Thank you, guys.
3 years it's been. We finally were able to get you on. But seriously, we can't thank you enough. And we're definitely looking forward to having you back on again real soon.
Yeah, it's been fun talking to you guys, and it's been fun meeting you, Neil.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you as well.
And
obviously,
hopefully, sometime in the future, if we are allowed to get together, hopefully we can have like a personal interview.
Oh, that would be
a personal episode. That'd be great. I'm totally down for that. 100%.
Yeah, I'm down for it sometime.
That would be tremendous.
That would be awesome.
That would be tremendous. We'll definitely have to work on that real soon in the future. But Andrew, thank you so much again, my man. We'll definitely look forward to having you back on again real soon.
Yeah. Just give me the date, give me the time, and I'll be there.
We will, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, guys. This has been awesome. It was a good day.
It was our pleasure. He's Andrew Huntington, the OG of the Bottom Line Podcast. That'll wrap it up for another week. Stay tuned later on this week for announcements on Twitter and Instagram in regards to more information about our 200th episode as far as guest confirmations and all that stuff. But like I said before, if you have any thoughts on anything we discussed, Twitter and Instagram, Bottomline WMCX, at Bottomline WMCX, and on Twitter, at The MVP Show, hashtag Bottomline, voice message, Anchor, the app, or anchor.fm. And please please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a like and a comment down below if you are watching. And if you're listening, please make sure you subscribe on Apple, Google, and Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just include my first name, Jimmy, when searching for this podcast. That'll wrap it up for another week for us. For Neil Villapiano and for Andrew Huntington, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. See you in the next episode. Peace out.